To begin the granny spike crochet stitch, you make a slip knot and make chains in multiples of 4 plus 1. I'll be making 25 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After making your chains, you go into the 5th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you make 3 double crochets into that space. 1, 2, and 3. Now that's the first cluster. You chain 1 and you go into the 4th chain from where you made this cluster. 1, 2, 3. Into the 4th chain, you make another cluster of double crochet. That's 3 double crochets all in the same space. And 3. You chain 1, you skip 3 chains and make another cluster into the 4th, and you repeat this till you've covered all the chain stitches that you made. Now I'm at the end of the row. I have 4 more stitches. I have 4 more chains left, excuse me. I'll go into the last chain. Remember to make your chain 1 after the last cluster. Then I'll go into the last chain and make 2 double crochet into that space. And this is what my row 1 looks like. I'll chain 2 and flip my work to begin row 2. And row 2 here is where we'll be making the spike pattern. So to do that, we'll be working into this chain 1 spaces that we made in the previous row to make our next cluster. So you go into the chain 1 space, you make 1 double crochet, and for our second double crochet of the cluster, you yarn over and you walk into the middle chain. Remember that we skipped 3 chains in the first row, so we'll go into the middle chain and you make a double crochet. Go into that middle chain, you pull up a loop, but make sure you pull up your loop well enough so you don't have your work curled up. You pull up your loop. Now I've pulled it up very high. Then you yarn over and you finish up the double crochet. And for the third double crochet of this cluster, you yarn over and walk into the chain 1 space where you made the first double crochet. You make a double crochet into that same space, and that completes the first cluster where we made our spike pattern. You chain 1 and you go into the next chain 1 space, you make a double crochet, and you make your second double crochet into the middle chain of our row 1. Remember to pull up your loop very well so you don't have your work curled up. After doing that, you finish it up with a double crochet, and then you make your last double crochet into the chain 1 space, and you repeat this process till you've covered the entire row. I've completed the last cluster. I no longer have chain 1 spaces to walk into, so I'll chain 1, and to finish up this row, remember the chain spaces that we skipped at the beginning of row 1. I'll go into that space and I'll make 2 double crochet, but I'll be changing my yarn at the end of this row. So the first double crochet, I'll make it as normal, but the second double crochet, after pulling through the first 2, I'll introduce the next color to finish up the double crochet. I'll be adding the next color to finish up the double crochet, and then I'll pull on the previous color and tie a loop to secure the yarn. Now that completes row 2. To begin row 3, I'll chain 2, 1, 2, and flip my work, and we'll start working into this chain 1 spaces just as we did in the previous row, but now we don't have chain spaces to work into like we did in this row, so we'll be working into the middle stitch of the clusters that we made in the first row. Now you yarn over, you make your first double crochet into the chain 1 space, you make your second double crochet into the top of the middle stitch from 2 rows before. So I'll go into this space, I'll pull up my loop. Remember to pull your loop well enough, and I'll finish it up with a double crochet. And for the third double crochet, I'll make it into the chain 1 space as I did for the first double crochet. Now that completes the first cluster. I'll chain 1 and go into the next chain 1 space with a double crochet. Then the second double crochet, I'll be working that into this middle stitch from row 1. Yarn over, go into the top of that middle stitch and pull up your loop. Then finish it up with a double crochet. And the third double crochet will be made into the same chain 1 space where you made your first double crochet. And this completes the second cluster, and you repeat this till you get to the end of your work. I've made my last cluster. I have no more chain 1 to work into, so I'll chain 1, and into this space where we made our chain 2 at the beginning of the previous row, I'll make 2 double crochets into that space to finish up row 3. And this is what my work looks like at this point. So to begin row 4, you chain 2, you flip your work, and we'll be working into the chain 1 spaces from the previous row. And just as we did in row 3, we'll be working our spike stitch into the middle double crochet from 2 rows before. So you make your first double crochet, and then the second into the top of the middle stitch, and you pull up your loop very well. Then the third double crochet will be done into the chain 1 space, and you chain 1, and you continue to repeat this all the way till the end of the row. I've made my last cluster. I'll go ahead and chain 1, and into the chain 2 space, just as we did in the previous row, you make 2 double crochet to finish up the row. And this is simply all you have to repeat for as many times that you need to do it to cover for the desired length of the project you are working on. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you again in my next video.